you go, everybody. This is Vegas Tips and Tricks podcast song. Remade, remixed, sort of. Anyway, welcome, Vegas Tips and Tricks podcast, video podcast number 7. Yes, number 7. Who would have guessed we could make it that far? As you may have guessed from the intro, we're going to talk about Vegas food today, which is something I rarely do, but I wanted to highlight a few places that I visited on my trip, which is now several weeks ago. It seems like it should just be yesterday. But before I do, there is exciting news in the Vegas Tips and Tricks universe. If you haven't already heard, the Vegas Tips and Tricks website is up. And I'll try to put a link, or at least put it down below on the screen here. I haven't figured out how to insert a link yet. But if you want to check it out, you can go to VegasTipsTricks.com. Just VegasTipsTricks.com. No www, none of that required. Just go to VegasTipsTricks.com. It has a link to all of the blog articles that I've written over the last year and a half. There's an email contact. You can get in touch with me. I do have the front page set up, but there's not much content yet outside of the blog. So check it out in the future. We're going to continue to add some flesh to the bones of that site, but I'm very excited about it. And it's got a link to our Facebook group, which you can join if you'd like. Got a link to our Twitter feed, got a link to our Instagram, and of course a link right back here to the YouTube page. So that just launched. I just put it up this morning, or actually early afternoon, so just a few hours ago. So if you'd like to be one of the first people to check it out, please do. I'd appreciate it. It's definitely a labor of love, but it is a labor. So again, today I'm going to talk about food and cover some of the places that I ate in Las Vegas, because some of them may be of interest to you. Just a few brief mentions of a couple of places that you may encounter that you may or may not want to eat. Of course, I had to revisit White Castle. It's my drunken weakness when I go to Las Vegas. Thankfully, there's none around here, or I probably wouldn't be my weakness anymore, but I did have to check that out, and as always, enjoyed it. I like to get the cheese sticks in addition to the sliders, so that's a tip. They're really good, I think. Another place that I checked out that I had not eaten before, and I only checked it out because I was staying at the Flamingo, late night food court, tried Johnny Rockets, which is another chain, but a chain that you see not a lot of places around where I am anyway. Maybe it's where you are. It was okay. It's a hamburger, a cheeseburger, whatever, and fries, and it wasn't terrible, but it's nothing you need to rush out and try, unless there's nothing else to eat in your hotel late at night. And finally, on the burger front, I guess these are all on the burger front, aren't they, was Shake Shack. And I have to say, I loved Shake Shack. I've never been to Shake Shack before because I live in the Midwest, and until very recently, we just got one actually. There have been no Shake Shacks around me. And I have to say, double shake burger with cheese, oh my God. I think the best hamburger I've ever eaten in my life. So I'm going to have to check out the one local when I'm sober and see if I feel the same way. But if you haven't tried Shake Shack, you owe it to yourself to give it a try. I tried In-N-Out Burger. I thought, it's okay. Some people love it. So you may be someone who loves Shake Shack like me. Anyway. But the 3 restaurants I wanted to spend a little more time talking about are the 3 restaurants whose plates are featured in the beginning of this video. And I'll start with the one I visited last, because it is also a chain of sorts, though I do not think there are very many of these outside of Nashville. And that is Hattie Bs Hot Nashville Chicken. This is in the new Block 16 food court at the Cosmopolitan. I did take some pictures of this, which I think maybe I put the pictures in the trip vlog. I thought I was making a little video to show you all of the parts of that little food court, but apparently I didn't bother to take the lens cap off, so you didn't actually get that video that I was hoping to show you. But it's up on the same level as Secret Pizza and the burger place. So, and there's some really interesting other establishments there. But for me, hot chicken was the appeal. I love me some spicy chicken. So I checked it out late one night, and it was quite good. I had basically it was a half a chicken, but it was the half chicken white meat because I like white meat. So I got 2 breasts, 2 wings. You get some there's a number of different sides. I got fries and collard greens because I've never had collard greens before in my life. And one of the things I wanted to do on this trip was try some things I had never tried before. So growing up in Nebraska, you don't get a lot of collard greens. They weren't bad. I mean, I think they were cooked pretty well. They were very tender, had a pretty good flavor, but all in all, they're leaves, okay? But the chicken I thought was really good. I got the hot, which is about halfway between almost no spice and are you insane? And I thought it was just right for me. I like like I said, I like things a little bit spicy. And it was hot. I broke a sweat, but it was very good. And it was only around, I think it was like $15, which you can't get anything in Vegas for less than $20 anymore. I think Shake Shack was more expensive than Hattie Bs, or right around the same amount for a burger. So, and you can get a smaller amount, I think, for around $10, $10 or $12. So it's good. So if you're in the Cosmopolitan or you're in that area and you have a hankering for some fried chicken, there seems to be more fried chicken coming to the Strip these days. But I think that one is really, really good, and I recommend it. The second place that I tried is definitely not a chain, and it's definitely a Vegas institution, and that is the Peppermill. If you've never ventured up north on the Strip past, say, the Wynn, you may have never seen it. It is right in a little shopping center, kind of cattywampusy. There's a word. Cattywampusy from Circus Circus. It used to set pretty much right next to the Riviera when there was a Riviera. This restaurant, bar, lounge, whatever you want to call it, has been there for over 40 years. It is legendary, and it's legendary for late night breakfasts and people watching. And of course I was there in the middle of the afternoon because that's how I do things. But great breakfast type food there, and huge portions, as you can see in the picture. I had like a chicken fried steak and some hash browns and some scrambled eggs and some sourdough toast, and everything was cooked very well. The eggs, people always overcook scrambled eggs, but you know, they got to do that, I guess. But everything else tasted really good. The place is interesting. I sat at the bar, but you got to see all of the waitresses who have a very unusual sort of, again, kind of old school costume that they wear. It's kind of odd. It's not really that attractive, but it's interesting. So if you ever happen to be in the area, or if you want to check out an old-time Vegas restaurant, I would definitely recommend the Peppermill. Again, I think I spent around $20, which, again, pretty standard for Las Vegas. Finally, a place where I definitely did not spend $20, where I spent more like $120, and that was Hell's Kitchen. I've never been a big Gordon Ramsay fan. I never watched the Hell's Kitchen television show, but I've seen a number of reviews of the restaurant, and it just seemed like a place that would be interesting to check out. And again, I could try some things I've never tried before, and I did. Sometime in the next few weeks or months, I will piece together the video and the pictures that I took when I was at Hell's Kitchen, because I took a whole series of photographs, not just the one of the beef Wellington that you see in the intro. It was really, really, really good. One of the sort of main dishes of the place, or one of the things they feature on the menu, is a price fix menu, which includes a starter, which is either a soup or a salad. I, in this case, had the cauliflower cream of asparagus soup, which was okay. It's never something that I would eat normally, but it was pretty good. It was pretty good. And then for a main course, you get Gordon Ramsay's famous beef Wellington. And I have to say, this just absolutely melted in my mouth. This was as good a piece of meat and flavoring combination as I've ever had. The pastry, the little Duxelles mixture. Oh, I'm a fast eater, but while I was eating at Hell's Kitchen, I consciously slowed down in the attempt to more thoroughly enjoy it. Another thing that I did with the meal is you can get a wine pairing. And in my 55 sad years of existence, I've never eaten a meal with a wine pairing before, but I did in this case. You got a sort of white wine, very light white wine with the soup, and then a very hearty sort of red wine with the beef Wellington. I think they went well together. I don't know. I'm not a wine guy. I'm a beer guy, okay? But I thought they went well together. And finally, you close with this famous sticky toffee pudding, which has a big dollop of some sort of ice cream on top. And again, it's just, I don't know, it's just really good. Normally I go to a place like this and I'm disappointed because I build it up in my mind, but this was better than I would have expected to be. It was delicious, it was warm and cold and sweet, but not too sweet. I think we get a lot of desserts nowadays that have so much sugar they just overwhelm you. It was delicious, and it was served with a tawny port. I have to tell you, I could have just sat and drank tawny port for quite a while. I think it probably would not have ended well for me. But yeah, that price fix item on the menu for lunch, and I had lunch, $97. So it's not cheap. It's probably overpriced, but you are paying for the experience as well as the food. And it is quite a scene. If you are a fan of the show, you'll recognize it because it will look very much like the set of the show. The wait staff is terrific, and of course, just very solicitous at all times. They make a show of everything, as is often the case at higher-end restaurants. But there are less expensive things on the menu. There were some things that I wanted to try that I knew I wasn't going to be able to eat all of it, so why bother? So I will return at some point because I had a great experience at Hell's Kitchen, and highly recommend it. It gets a Vegas Tips and Tricks 5-star rating, if such a thing exists. I guess it does, because I just made it. But so anyway, that's my food update on last month's trip. I hope it provided some insight for you. As I mentioned recently, there's going to be more of these podcasts and probably less of the traditional videos that we have had in the past because, frankly, I'm running out of things to video. So in the future, I will probably talk about some of the shows that I saw while I was in Las Vegas, and I have some ideas of some other podcast topics that we're going to cover, and we're going to try to do a little bit better job of integrating the podcast, the other videos, with the website and the Instagram and everything else. So I ain't going to promise anything, okay? But I'm going to give my best shot to try to make all of the elements of Vegas trips, tips and tricks fit together better for you. So once again, thank you so much for sitting through this. I hope, again, it was valuable for you. So until next time, have a great day.